This is going to be the first of maybe a series, because I don't know how many videos it's going to take, to help you complete the SIMnet Word Chapter 1 Guided Project 1-2. I'm starting at the link that probably your course will take you to, which is where you can start the project by doing the first thing, which is to download. Now, you have two files to download. Something called a start file, which is an actual Word file, and another file called a solution, which shows you what it should be, what it should look like when it's done. And you can either click on these links or use what they call the file download wizard. I will click the file download wizard, and it already downloaded my start file, and I will also download the solution file. At this point, as you can see, I'm using this on a Mac, but other than when I'm going to point out some differences between Mac and Windows, everything's the same. Just like on Windows, when you download something from a browser, and I do recommend using Chrome as your browser, what you get is in your downloads folder, especially if you arrange it by date, here are the two files I just downloaded. One of them is the solution file. Notice the extension is PDF because they don't want you to copy paste the solution, so you can see it, and it's, you know, it has what's called a watermark, but you can definitely see what the finished file would look like, so you can compare your results. And then we have the start file. Notice the start file has your name in it. In this case, it has my name on it because I'm pretending to be a student. And I will double click on it, and it will open in Word. Now, on some installations of Word, especially on Windows, you might see like a yellow strip here that says, do you want to enable editing? And you do. Turn this off. At this point, I will switch back and forth. Let me clean up my screen between the instructions and the file itself. The one thing I'm going to remind everyone to do is to constantly save. So here are the instructions. I can do either Windows or Mac. I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to be most of the time on Mac. In certain places where Mac and Windows differ, I will switch to Windows and just go over what it would look like for Windows. So these are the skills covered in the project, and the actual instructions start here. Instruction number 1. And all these check marks, this is just for me, so I can, you know, kind of keep tab of my own progress and kind of remind myself, oh, I've done this step, I haven't done this step yet. So step number 1, you open what I just opened, which is, you know, it has my name on it. The document opens, click the enable editing button so you can modify it, like I just said. On some installations of Word, you're not going to get the enable editing, but if you do, you just click enable editing. The file will be renamed automatically to include your name. Change the project name if directed to do so by your instructor. I usually do not ask my students to change the name. This is a perfectly good name. It's my name, Online Learning 01. That's fine. I'm reminding you that the save button is up here, or you can always go File, Save. But this is shorter. To the instructions. The first thing they want us to do on step 3, and it has substeps A through F, is to press Command A. Now on Windows, it's going to be Control A. Generally, anything that's Command something on a Mac is Control something on Windows. So if you're a Windows user, you're going to press Control A to select the entire document. So I'm pressing Command A. Again, if you're on Windows, you press Control A, and it selects everything. You don't have to click anywhere. As long as you're somewhere in the document, you're selecting everything. And then once you select everything, you click Format on the Word menu and then click Paragraph. Now this is where Mac and Windows differ a little bit. I'm on Mac, so I'm going to go to a menu on the top called Format and find Paragraph. But Windows, you're not going to find those menus. You're going to find everything in the tabs here. On Windows, under the Home tab, you're going to see what's called the Paragraph group, and there's going to be a little icon right here for launching the Paragraph menu. In any case, whether I do it from here if I'm on Windows or from here if I'm on Mac, a dialog pops up. Now let's see what they want us to do with this dialog. Click the line spacing drop-down and select multiple. In this dialog, I'm going to go to spacing, line spacing. Instead of single, I'm going to do multiple. And then the number they want me to add is 1.2. Multiple instead of 3, 1.2. Next, change the after paragraph spacing to 12 points. So I'm going to find here is the after paragraph spacing. Instead of 0, I'm going to make it 12 points. Now you will see that at this point, when they ask me to click OK, something kind of weird is going to happen at first, where it seems to put like huge spaces between them, but that's going to be solved in the next step. In any case, I completed this step. I'm going to save. Turn on the show hide on the home tab paragraph group. Now, what is this show hide? It's showing, first of all, here it is, home, and here it is. It looks like an inverted P. That's the show hide. It shows all the different markings of the document, like the hidden formatting, but especially something we really need, which are paragraph marks. All these little blue inverted P's are paragraph marks. And you can see that all of these are empty paragraphs here and here and here. So the next step they want us to do is to delete the extra blank line between each paragraph, including the blank line right after the title. So I'm just going to go very systematically and go this one. I'm just clicking right before it and hitting either delete or backspace, and this one backspace, and this one backspace, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. The reason they make you do it, that's the end, is because amateurs, in order to put spaces between paragraphs, just press enter, enter, enter to enter empty lines. Professionals know that the correct way of doing it is what we did one step ago, which is under the format paragraph to tell it to have an after space. So that way, every time a paragraph starts, automatically it'll have an after space. And all it needs to do, every time there's a paragraph mark, a 12-point after space. Next, save. The next thing to do is step number 5, and by the way, there are 16 steps or 17 steps. Change the font for the entire document. Again, Command A and change the font to Cambria. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to select the whole document. Again, on Mac, Command A, on Windows, Control A. And to change the font, that's under the Home tab. Right here is where I will pull down. I have a very long list of fonts. Some computers have more, some computers have less. I see Cambria in one of my recent fonts, but even if I didn't, all the fonts will be listed alphabetically. So C for Cambria. And here it is. Now, if it gives you all kinds of variations like regular, italic, bold, and so on, just select Cambria by itself. Why? Because that's what the instructions are asking you to do. And the font has changed, and I'm saving. And that was step number 5. Step number 6 has a lot of sub-steps. The first thing they want me to do is select the title of the document, which says Online Learning Information. So I will select it. Online Learning Information. The next thing they want me to do is to click the Layout tab. So in Word, I will go and click the Layout tab. And in the Layout tab, I just did this and this, change the before spacing to 36 points and the after spacing to 18. So this is for headings. So the before space is right here and the after is right here. They want the before to be 36 and the after to be 18. And this is going to affect only this heading. So you can see that it put 18 points after and 36 before to kind of separate it. Save. So this was C. Click the center button to center it, and this is in the home group. Here's the home group, and here's center. Again, I'm going to make sure that I'm selecting, so I'm centering only what I want to center. Here's center. Next, save. I did. Then format in the Word menu. That's the same thing that I talked about before. If I was on Windows, there would be a little button up here to launch the font dialog. On Mac, I'm going Format Font. Again, let me just show you. If I go here, I was on 6E. If I go here and change the instructions to Windows, let's see what 6E says for Windows. 6E for Windows would say click the font launcher, which is the Home tab, font group, and it opens. So again, if this was Windows, this same dialog will be launched by a little icon up here. This is the font group, and it would be right here like a little launcher. But on Mac, we don't have that. It's a little different. So I go Format Font. Now, what do they want me to do in Format Font? So I was on 6E. Change the font size to bold and the font size to 24. So in this dialog, I want the font size to be bold and the size to be 24, which I can, by the way, pull down from a menu or type in, doesn't matter. And I also want to click an effect called small caps in the effects area. Small caps, here it is. And click the font color drop down and choose the fourth color in the first row. It's kind of a blue-gray. So in the same dialog, there's a font color. Right now it says automatic, but when I click on it, like a gallery of colors opens, and they want me to select the 1, 2, 3, 4th color in the first row. As you can see, it's a blue-gray. Click the Advanced tab. In the same dialog, there's a tab called Advanced. Again, on Windows, it might look a little different, but it's going to be there. And click the spacing drop-down and select Expanded and change it to 1.2. So here, there's spacing. Instead of normal, I choose Expanded, and instead of 1.2. They want a little more spacing. So I click OK. And now that headline looks the way it should look. Let's see if I'm done with this step. Yes, I am. Click OK. I can get rid of the dialog, which I did. At this point, I will save. I don't need the reveal for show hide formatting, but what I will do is I will go to that solution file that I downloaded, that PDF, and when you download a double-click PDF, it opens in whatever your computer's set to open PDFs with, but I just want to see that their heading looks pretty much like mine. It does. At this point, I will stop part 1 because we just reached, let's see what step, let me minimize this. We just reached step number, we completed 6 and we're about to move to 7, but this will be in the next part of the tutorial.